If you were to ask me, the best online marketer is the ones who have aced their targeting game. And those who are likely to ace their targeting games are those who have a strong presence in the offline world. Online targeting tools are merely reflections of the real world, and though it can help you identify your pool instantly with a simple click, the full 360 view of your potential lead is always much easier observed in the real world. What do I mean by that? Listen on to find out. First of all, welcome to Targeting 101. Let me emphasize to you why you should care about targeting more than anything else, particularly before you begin any sort of content creation. You most likely speak to your friends, your boyfriend, and your boss in a fairly different way. Why do you do that? One of the main reasons is because you believe the way you speak to them affects how well they respond or understand your message. Your boss would not like to be screamed at, and your boyfriend is much better with straightforward directions. This is the first important thing about recognizing who your target audience is, because then you'll know how to speak to them. In the same scenario, you'll also know that your boss prefers to be communicated to via email, whereas emailing your boyfriend would be rather strange. This is the second important thing about recognizing who your target audience is, because then you'll know what platform or channels you should use to communicate to them. If you have a favorite to ask these people for, you'll know what kind of conversation opening gets them happy or interests them the most. This is the third important thing about recognizing who your target audience is, because then you'll know what content is more likely to get them to listen. And lastly, by knowing who you are speaking to, you will know what words to use and if you can be more casual or if you need to be more professional. This is the fourth important thing about recognizing who your target audience is, because then you'll know what your tone and manner should be. Instead of letting that happen, here's my Targeting 101 checklist for you to consider. Number 1. Demographics are just basic facts. Age, language, and geography are just facts. So are occupations and other descriptive traits, taken perhaps from existing customers. Though you still need to list these out clearly, the idea of a target audience extends way further than that. Number 2. Genuinely ask yourself if you are a target audience. Would you buy your products or your service? Why would you, and why would you not? If you realize that you are a target audience, write down as much information as possible about yourself. If you're not, think of a celebrity that you feel would buy your product or service and write down as much information about that person as you can. Number 3. Where do your target audience hang out online and offline? Are your target audiences young? They are most likely spending a lot of time on TikTok. Are your target audiences older? Then Facebook would be a safe bet. But what if you're not targeting a specific age? Then consider approaching this as though you are a Costco or a mall. A lot of people of various age groups visit the place and have the reason on why they love the place so much. But what you can recognize is that price is a common key factor for this specific audience group. Learning where your target audiences hang out offline can help you derive key learnings that the online world may not be able to provide. Number 4. What are their struggles and desires? Like I always say, customers are not interested in your product. They are only interested in a solution. Find out what is bothering them by visiting forums, groups with subjects related to your product or industry. If you can't seem to identify them online, look offline. Is your friend the target audience? What do you find them struggling with a lot of the time? What did they buy to ease or solve that problem? Number 5. What are they searching for online? Now that you have all these information, justify them by seeing if people are searching for these keywords online. AnswerThePublic.com is a perfect tool for you to see that. You can then see if your assumptions were correct and if there are anything completely off your radar. Number 6. Now, imagine how the regular day is like. If you can write out an overview of their day, you will spot out where their best posting time is. On top of that, you will also see activities which they do, pointing towards potential B2B or influencer collaborations. You will start to truly understand why they aren't already buying your product and be able to see how you can be more relevant to them. A good content marketer will use all of this information as the backbone for his or her content creation. It becomes very clear what content should be produced, what keywords should be included, what platforms should be invested in, when they should post, and what topics should be talked about. Not to mention, this information all point towards certain behaviors, which can then be used in targeted ad buys. Anything from the level of education, to the age of their children, to which brand pages they have liked, and even if the person has purchased anything online, can be used as a targeting behavior on Facebook. In this case, the content marketer can be sure that he or she has the right content for the right target audience with the right ad buying target to drive the right leads at a very low cost. Remember how I mentioned those content marketers who can ace their targeting game are usually people with a strong offline presence? This is because if you already know a lot of people, it makes it much easier to make assumptions on what traits and behaviors the target audiences are likely to have. Having a physical memory of this person allows one to recall how they look, what brands they like, how their friends are like, so on and so forth. This saves a lot of time trying to look for all of the traits online, and such offline experiences point to minute details which can then be used for Facebook targeting. This makes the idea of a target audience turn into a complete 360 persona that makes the whole content marketing strategy as effective as it can be. So, my recommendation to you is to spend time and effort in acing your target audience first. Once you get that right, content creation becomes much easier and more straightforward. If you wish to learn tips and tricks on content marketing, keep yourself posted for my next podcast episode, or visit me at joysangcontentmarketing.com, where I have written explanations of different online strategies, blog posts, and uploaded free downloadables for you to try and kickstart your content. Until then, I'm Joy Sang, a content marketer here for entrepreneurs.